Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ECU ES Riot Rumble. I'm here today with Beethoven, head of IT, head of thinking, head of big brain, and we're here with Cold Plays versus some group of feeders. Which one is it? Yes, Fast FF. That's the one. I just have to flame because they have a caster on their team. Wait, no, they don't. That's on the other one. No, I'll flame the other team instead.
Is also a caster.
Oh yeah, they both have casters, so we can flame them all heavily. So Today there is a substitution. Distatic in the mid lane is taking over for Mick8223 because he is off somewhere doing things. And we had to go through a whole bunch of ruling stuff, but it's all sorted, and Distatic is here to party. He may remember him from the last Rumble if anyone actually tuned in for that one. So Felix here, good old Beethoven, has extreme knowledge of Tryndamere. So we're really hoping that somebody's going to pick Tryndamere.
No, we're not. What the fuck?
Well, see, but then you can flex your big brain about the knowledge of
how to right click, man. That's how I play the game. I right click.
You can talk to me about the matchups and the. Yes. I don't know, what does Fog talk about on stream? He usually just solo kills somebody and laughs, but.
I actually don't know. I don't really catch him stream that often, and when he does, he's more focused on the game than he is on actually, like, somewhat explaining what to do.
Oh, that's fair enough. And you can see there's 3 mid lane bans on the red side here against Incursio, the D1 player, which is fair enough. I'm confused to the fact that they didn't ban Yasuo and instead banned Silas, who I've not seen him play.
Yes, but they Incursio's team banned the Yasuo, so.
Oh wait, never mind. I'm actually special. He banned. Why would they ban Yasuo? Why would they ban their own mid laner's pick? I don't quite understand. Like this does not play Yasuo, and I guarantee you, this would not have picked Yasuo against Incursio. Actually, yeah, no, this does play Yasuo, but against Incursio, there's no way. I don't think he would pick it. And I also think Incursio would just be able to punish that if he did.
Yeah, he would just pick the LeBlanc.
They're banning Adjacent's Darius, which is a classic, even though he hasn't actually played it yet. I don't know if he got banned the first series or.
Yeah,
but I mean, he picked Nah and he popped off on that. So who needs that? He's going to play Nami top this game, by the way. I'm sure of it.
Sure of it. Yes, he's trolling. Yes.
And it looks like Lord Furion doesn't want to pick his one trick hard enough for it to be. Overwrite the first pick, so the other one trick who also plays that champion is going to get it instead. There's 3 Udyr one tricks in this tournament, by the way.
Yes.
I say one tricks. Kyle does play other champions, but let's pretend that he's good at them.
I mean, he did do pretty well.
No, he did well on the Xin Zhao, and even played well in scrims and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think all the Udyr one tricks just expect Udyr to be banned, except when they're versing each other. So. Case in point.
It's basically whoever's on the left side gets Udyr first. It looks like they actually banned the LeBlanc and Cat, so now Incursio can't pick either of them.
I'm surprised Incursio didn't pick in the first phase to take like a strong mid lane pick before they banned more, because it's pretty obvious that he will probably get banned like 5 champs against most teams, because most people are not scared of the rest of the players on their team. Which is fair enough. Like, it's not Super Flame, but none of those players are Diamond 1, so. I agree. We've got. I knew that was coming. I saw that in the future. I used Zillion's time travel powers to tell me he's actually going to pick that. It's a good pick to pick a safe, not die champion into Incursio so that you don't get 1v9'd by him.
Yeah, so because he would probably play a hyper carry. And wait a minute, what is he gonna play mid? Is he gonna bring out Aatrox?
He could, or it could be the Morg, but that's very unlikely. It'd be very unlikely for it to be Aatrox support. I really doubt that Akel'Zalat would play that one. So looks like it's going to be mid Aatrox, which is kind of interesting actually.
Yeah, ever since the nerf of the E being unable to heal off the minions.
Yeah, very odd pick, especially into Zillion, who has like the big fat slow and the stun. Well, I guess you can dodge the stun with some like reliability with your dash, but if you do like your Q dash, you're on the spot for a little bit, so he'll be able to get quite an easy double bomb off.
Yeah. Because your
But
Q just has a cast animation. I mean, not animation, cast timer as well. No,
yeah, they've
not
actually got
timer.
a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that could deny Aatrox's potential here. So you could
Yeah.
see Incursio actually taking a loss in the mid lane if he doesn't play Aatrox super well, but he must have been planning on playing it. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay on the spectate, so we will
Unless if you want to
rejoin
do any predictions or anything like that beforehand.
My predictions is that it'll be a monkey fiesta as per usual, and it'll be a good time to cast. So join us in a few minutes as the Shoutcasters go off to be lazy and get drinks. We'll return with you in a moment.
Come on. You gonna talk?
You said you'd do a second cap. Felix, you're trolling me. Welcome back.
I said
You said
after
you'd
my
do an
countdown,
expert.
you count yourself down
Oh,
and then join.
well, whatever. The stream is on. Welcome to the ECU Riot Rumble. There's already an invade coming from the blue side here, and have they been spotted? They have been spotted by a red ward, so they're just sort of going to run it down here, and they probably won't get anything, but they could choose to steal the buff if they like. Bit of a odd start to the game, but whatever.
Bit of a little hustle. Surprise, nothing happened.
I'm suspecting that that Team Cold Players is going to want to play through bot this game, because good lord knows they probably are not going to be playing through mid, but we'll see.
Probably not top either, but Jax is a champion that just outscales to oblivion, so who knows?
They can play through top if Jax gets any sort of lead.
He probably will, because he's versing a Malphite and Jax has AP in his hit, so...
Adjacent is quite a higher tier player compared to Vinter here. I refuse to say his full name. But we've also already got trades going on in the mid lane. Incursio straight up trying to be daddy mid lane. I respect it.
Well, he's gonna have to, or else he's just gonna get poked out. I mean, a ton of pokes from the statics bombs.
Yeah, and I give the advantage in bot lane theoretically to cold plays.
Yeah,
but it could go either way.
Probably should have went Klepto. It would have been a lot easier for him to actually get more ahead with Klepto. Bring it back. His Conqueror's garbage.
He's actually running in. He almost kills Volkshians and gets some damage out onto a Kel'Zalad as well. They got that early level 2 shove, which is something I like to do a lot in the bot lane. Here comes a river fight between Adjacent, Lord Furion, and the other team's players. Incursio with a double knockup landing. Ignite is on. Adjacent World is going to die. First Blood Dust goes over to Freelaw. And now the red team are running away. A trade, though, 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah. I think
Team's gonna
I'm not sure, but I think this came up a bit too late, or slowly. So that ended up being a bit bad. And also a bit good for him, so he doesn't get collapsed on instead.
It's not too bad though. Both kills go over to the junglers.
Yeah, but First Blood went over to Udyr instead.
Yeah, First Blood does go over to Udyr, and Udyr can probably use the gold a bit more early. Like, aggressively, compared to Furion on Amumu, but we'll see how that one teeters off. Actually, not too bad. I would have expected them to lose a lot harder than they did, and it was sort of an even trade, not too uneven.
Yeah, it's just a 1-for-1, which is better than a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Oh, and the Shaker actually gets pinged up by a little binding, but nothing comes of it. In my experience of the Caitlyn pick I made that I shouldn't have made, you kind of need to be pushed up a little bit further than you would normally be. Like, you need to be closer to the minions than your auto attacks require you to be, so that you can place those traps straight under the Morgana binding targets.
Yeah, and that just the double snare or the snare plus root is just plain annoying to deal with.
Yeah, that's what makes the pick so obnoxious.
Shut up, Wilson.
What is Wilson?
Thanks
Are we
to
being
FPS,
trolled?
1-4-2 is better than a 1-for-1.
I love it. I really love it.
Yes.
But hey, nothing's happened. It's 4 minutes and people haven't died 8 times yet.
Looks
so
like the trade's coming in at top though.
yeah, Jason World has
the upper
procced
hand.
Conqueror.
Jason has the upper hand due to having AP in his kit.
Yeah, he's got double the CS of Vinter right now. A nice bubble lands, and Lucidity's going to run forward, but nothing will come of that. Jake, just not fast enough, unfortunately, Jake. Very unfortunate. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Really big damage, though.
Peter didn't try to combo the root. I'm just there with the root. Not sure if
He
actually
might.
had any traps.
Yeah, he might not have had the mana for both spells and decided to go with Q. Incursio is getting ganked in the mid lane. Hasn't got his ultimate. He's taking a lot of damage. He does flash. He might go down to the red. I don't think so.
The red just stopped ticking in time. Lucky him.
Incursio lives on very low HP.
If only this
But
took
they do-
Ignite rather than Barrier.
Yeah, they do burn his
Okay,
flash. I would have taken at least Exhaust on the Zillion against that team with Aatrox on me in mid lane. Exhaust would probably be quite good.
Yeah, it's also be helpful against an Udyr who has like no gap closers other than a flash.
Yeah, and against Aatrox I think it's good too, since they lowered his dash to only have the one. So early game like late game they made it so it has very low cooldown, but until it's maxed it's got like a reasonably long cooldown.
Yeah. Quick little
The
kick
CS
and trade
leader.
at top. Look at him
There's
go.
a few CS leads coming out, but the teams, thanks to First Blood on one side, but the CS leads on the other, are virtually exactly even in gold here.
Indeed. Looks like they might be collapsing on top as well. Both junglers.
Here comes Pre-Law and Lord Fury are going to run into each other, but it looks like Pre-Law is going to be the one in trouble. Jason should have the ability to leap. He does get Chilling Smited.
Yeah,
Pre-Law
he wasn't
retreat.
in range, even using his Nimbus cloak.
Now it's Adjacent World that's in trouble. Vinter does have his ultimate, and Pre-Law has the stun. There lands the Aatrox binding, and Adjacent gets pulled back. The kill going over to Vinter in the bot side now. Lucidity gets stunned up, but the sun returns. The Nami bubble lands, and the Kelzalat has to burn her flash to get away. A heal coming out of Caitlyn too. Good engage from the bot side of Cold Place.
Indeed. I feel like if Jason hadn't wasted his wards and actually warding up the bushes or something like that, he could have escaped. But he wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I think they could have just done with backing off a little bit sooner. Once they saw Incursio, they should have ran a lot further. But the kill does go over to Vinter, who desperately needed the advantage because he's constantly getting out-traded.
Yeah, but if they leave a Jason alone, he can just start outscaling anyone just because he's a Jax.
Yeah, and I think in the direct 1v1, Adjacent should still have the upper hand on Vinter, who also did not choose to back after that play, so he's going to be out of lane for a little while, giving Adjacent time to get a lead. Volkshan's almost dead in the mid lane, I mean the bot lane, but the ultimate not quite killing him. And there the Nami almost takes him out. I heard a flash come out from Volkshan's there that we didn't quite see on screen. Furion running into Incursio here, going to get some damage down, and here comes Distatic, lands the first bomb, does not land the second. Gets the ulti, but he pops it on himself! He betrays his team! Distatic, no! He betrays Furion, but the bubble landing from OK will keep Distatic alive for the time being.
Jason's teleport also got cancelled due to Malphite ult.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
a
pretty unlucky.
good catch, as I didn't even see that happening. That's too focused on the fight. So that's going to be a wasted sum from Adjacent as well, and he didn't really seem to get a big out trade after the play either, so...
Also, not Jason, Lucidity still had flash, so if he actually flashed onto Volkshan's, he could have got that early kill.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, good plays from OKQD manages to save Distatic, but very unfortunate from them that Distatic's ultimate, I've seen it happen more than once. Whenever Zillion gets picked, it happens. And he got picked, and it happened, and he put the ulti on himself instead of his teammate, and that's just a little unfortunate. And luckily, he did at least get to pop it on himself, so it did something, but
Yeah,
it
if he
kinda
wasn't
sucks
standing
for his
on
team.
top of his Amumu, it would have worked.
Yeah, I tend to, if I'm that close, just click the target window in the bottom right. It's actually something you can do.
Yeah.
Lucidity prefers ranged minions over melee minions, apparently.
Because they seem to be a lot easier to kill.
He just decided not to go for the melee on 2 HP that he could have killed, but
200
the classic.
IQ, watch out.
And pretty unlucky so far, but I think Incursor is probably happy that he finally got a kill, because he'd had 2 assists at the time, one of them going over to his top laner, and I'm sure he would have preferred them. Well, the stun does not land, but Lucidity actually doing some fat damage, but takes a big trade back.
Yeah, if he didn't get hit by that snare, the trade would have been great.
Seems like Akelzalat has been practicing. She's playing a lot better this game than she did in her first game.
Now she just needs to flash R in and lose the team fight. Bring her team into a bad team fight and then lose the game quicker, fast FF.
I mean, yeah, the team motto is fast FF, and they do actually already have a Mountain Drake, so...
Yeah, that's great.
With their potential of their siege, yeah. And their bot lane has a lot of siege power with Morgan, Kate can push quite hard and then delete towers, so...
I'm more surprised we haven't been seeing Udyr counter jungle or invade often.
Yeah, it's quite easy to counter jungle against a Mumu. I would have expected an Udyr to do it, especially with how fast he can clear some of those single target camps.
Yeah.
Incursio making a trade. Never mind. Oh my god, huge damage from Incursio, actually. Just his empowered auto and his Q there does more than enough. Lucidity likes to eat these bindings this game.
His right-clicking is on point.
Static, I see, has gone for the... Oh, Lord Furion with the engage. Static does not manage to land the first bomb, but the second bomb lands. Static backing up. Pops his ulti on himself. Almost dies to Incursio, who did burn his flash, but Prelaw is here to force him back. Yeah, so cooldown's gone from both sides there. Ultimates and a flash out of Incursio. But Dis does have his barrier up, but chooses to back. Probably safe, because we can see Malphite, yeah, was ready to come down. Volkshan's getting heavily out-traded there in the bot lane. That's some gross Draven damage from a champion who doesn't actually have any kills yet.
Yeah, if he had Klepto, he could, you know, get more items earlier. Poppy, Diamond, Dottie with the Klepto Draven.
Well, it would actually probably be, like, I think they should, in general, because Akelzalat is a fairly new player, and OKQD is quite a good support. I would assume that you would have the advantage in bot lane, so you could probably go for something riskier like that. Like, more damagey Dravens, or even Klepto if you really feel like it.
Yeah, it's Klepto better now, just due to the fact that Conqueror sucks and he got hit.
Another binding he likes to eat. He does get pretty heavily out-traded until that bubble lands, and the Nami ultimate will find 2. Why is Lucidity running back for his axe? He's trolling. Lucidity, and OKQD is going to die. So is Lucidity. Maybe no, he does just live. The Caitlyn ultimate, though, will bring him down. For some reason, nobody told him that he didn't have to run back for his axe there, and that got him killed.
Yeah, if he just ran it down instead, and if he went in.
And Akelzalat looks like she will also maybe die here, maybe not. Incursio's coming and guarding her. Lord Furion going to have to flash out over the wall. That was, yeah, and the problem is, the axes go in the general direction of where you click, so that means that he clicked back to begin with.
Yeah.
A very rookie Draven mistake right there, and either way, he should not have ran back for that axe. He did not need it to get those kills. And oh, Draven ultimate, though, does pick him up a return kill, so that's something. Unfortunate that he wouldn't really have any stacks ready to go there after dying. That could have been a lot of gold. So if he'd have gone forward there and gotten a kill, even if he died, if he got a kill first, he would have had a huge dump of gold on top of him, which would have put him far ahead of Volkshan's. But now they're going to be pretty even.
Even though Jax died twice, Jax is still even in CS against Malphite.
Yeah, and I think that CS could even grow in his favor as the lane goes on. We'll have to see. He's actually getting a little out-traded now just because Malphite has the attack speed slow and has bought a Bramble Vest. Looks like the red team is on Dragon, and Incursio is nearby. Incursio could be in trouble here. Popping the U-moves to get away, but the stun lands the bandage. Incursio is going to be reviving from his ultimate, but now Prelor could be in trouble. Looks like they're going to go for Incursio. Speeding towards him. The bomb does not land, but they do force him back. And they get a push out in the mid lane.
Yes.
Advantage, finally, they find something. They get a Mountain Drake in return. If they can get some actual siege going, they can use that and start to put a lead on for themselves.
Lucidity trying to right click on them, but the auto pathing, making sure he doesn't right click.
Hey, it's unfortunate. He's tilted after getting him and his support killed earlier. A bit of an oof mistake, especially after such good play from his support to land the bubble and the double Nami ult.
And then him making the mistake of running backwards.
Hey, I just have to flame my boy Lucidity. He's still playing reasonably well. He has quite a CS lead over his lane opponent, so mistakes are mistakes. We all make them. I made some oofies mistakes on Caitlyn when I played it, so I am not free from criticism. Absolutely not free from criticism.
No one needs to remember my Galio game either.
I mean, I thought your dancing and emoting was fantastic, frankly.
Yes. Big brain plays, man. Made them stop attacking me, and then they started attacking me.
Well, this game is much more competitive than I thought it would be, though. I thought this game would be like a lot more like I thought they'd either find a way to shut Incursio down and be stomping the other lanes, or Incursio would just be carrying the game beyond Reprieve at this point. And though their team does have a lead, it's not a massive lead. It's a 3k gold lead, but they don't have a dragon lead. Lord Furion smites away the Scuttle Crab from Incursio. And looks like Prelor is actually... He does get stunned up, and he was also sort of stealing his mid laner's CS for some reason there.
Trying to shove it up. That's the reason
I suppose they're shoving it up, yeah, for the Rift Herald proc. They're going to put that down. Fortunately, Zilean Ultimate does not work on turrets. In bot lane, they are going to land a stun. Looks like Prelor just going back to base, though, after losing his HP. So this Rift Herald actually wasted. It didn't even get one turret. It's good to drop it a lot earlier too, so you kind of want to get it out and like take it before plating drops, because it used to not be worth dropping it on tier 1 turrets, but when plating was added to the game, it's really, really worth it. So
I guess it was just trying to get Incursio more ahead with the tower platings.
Yeah, and unfortunately those despawned long ago.
Yeah.
And Adjacent World in trouble. Incursio coming into the top lane is going to go down to the turret, but has his ultimate up, so will revive. And the kill goes over to Incursio too. Adjacent going to be tilted after that one. He's getting a lot of attention top lane this game, or at least more than I'd usually expect on top lane. Here's Distatic, might be able to do something with these bombs. Distatic actually going for the scaling Zilean, which I respect. I respect the tier Zilean going for the scale.
Yeah, the game's already 17 minutes in, so it's probably gonna go for a pretty long time if no one's... Well, I mean, if they only just got first tower just now.
Yeah, I think they want the scaling because they want to sit back and turtle the game until they can get Adjacent strong enough to deal with Incursio.
Or at least Lucidity.
And kind of, yeah, and just carry the game. And Draven can also scale up. He's more of an early game AD, but he's by no means weak in the late game. And the binding is not going to do much against that. Draven ultimate comes out. Heal comes out from Volkshians. Probably not completely necessary, but we'll keep Akel'Zalot a bit healthier. Static lands another bomb onto Incursio.
Nothing else is happening right now besides
Lucidity
running in.
Ooh, big crit comes out though. Lucky Infinity Edge crit there from Caitlyn does actually get a nice trade back.
Yeah, the headshot also crits. So that's like a ton of damage.
Yeah, if you get a nice headshot crit out with Infinity Edge, you can really do some solid damage. Staying reasonably competitive with the Caitlyn pick for an inexperienced support main who doesn't play a lot of ADC. Volkshians is doing alright. Hasn't died yet, has a kill and an assist. He's down a fair amount of CS, but it's not too much considering what he's against. Yeah. Especially considering that OKQD is actually proven to be quite a good player so far this tournament.
Also, the fact that their ranks are actually pretty high. In the Coldplay's team, they're like more balanced than every other team.
Yeah, I would say Lucidity isn't an amazing AD carry, though he is playing reasonably well. He's not like he's not an ADC main. He prefers to play in the mid lane, but has been granted AD for this tournament. Though by no means is he bad. That's not what I'm saying. So don't think of the flame. Kalzalat. Oh, she does dodge the incoming bandage, and now it looks like Lucidity could be in some trouble. Incursio here joins the fight. The Amumu ultimate will find 3. The bombs will find 2. A Kalzalat almost goes down there. She falls to the Zillion, and in the back line, Prelaw falls to the Draven ultimate, and Volkshians falls to Amumu. Big Amumu ulti plays, gets the triple stun, and Dis lands a fantastic bomb.
Looks like
there is going to be
upper hand in team fights from that.
Yeah, there is going to be 2 mountains on the side of the blue team, but mountains don't matter if you can't hit the turrets as much, and right now they can't be hitting any turrets. But here comes a Flash Malphite double ultimate knockup, and a red team is getting a TP off from Adjacent, but it's just not enough. Lucidity has already gone down. Adjacent chooses to go in, but doesn't really find anything. Yeah, that was a very nice Flash Malphite ultimate, but I think Lucidity stood a little bit too close there to his support, and they got the double knockoff off. Oh, Incursio actually looked to be in some danger there. Doesn't have his ultimate, so... Oh, Kalzalat taking a lot of damage. That bomb might actually bring her down. Yeah, it does. Distatic getting himself a kill onto a Kalzalat. So they get something out of Adjacent's teleport play.
Something, I guess, and they have a Mumu split pushing top right now, so...
Yeah, and they're looking to just keep the push up so that they can use that Mountain Drake they have and try and get something in the way of turrets. Amumu is getting a bit of push off in the top lane, but classically Amumu has okay wave clear, but 0 turret hitting power.
Yeah.
Jason Gold going in onto Volkshians does land the stun and the W auto Conqueror procs. He's going to delete, and the hit will bring down Volkshians almost solo there.
Volkshians
a little bit of help from Distatic.
Too far up.
Yeah, a bit of a classic mistake. You think you have so much range, and it doesn't work out for you against a sped up Jax.
Yeah.
And Jason World actually choosing to go in, but gets heavy damage from Incursio. The ultimate, though, will find the right target and save him. This time, Lucidity diving onto a Kalzalat will pick up the solo kill almost. Incursio now in trouble. His ultimate expires and he goes down, and now the rest of their team is in trouble and has to back off. But they might run right into the arms of the Amumu ultimate here. Here he comes, the bandage toss, the ultimate lands. Prelaw is in trouble. Horny is pretty tanky, but still probably could go down here. A double bomb, Adjacent World will pick up the kill onto the Udyr. And Vinter will get out, at least.
Yeah, with his ult. And red team, who was down by a lot of gold, is now actually ahead. So they're actually bringing this into their favor with those team fights. Mumu taking tower.
Impressive play out of Coldplay's there to find those many picks, and they didn't even have their jungler at the start of it, so...
Yeah.
Pretty good for them.
I'm not sure about Jason's Hextech Gunblade buy, when he could just get Sterax instead.
I guess he wants it to compete with the fact that Aatrox has a lot of healing, but I don't know. I suppose there isn't a massive amount of stuff he should be getting hit by. If he can evade the Morgana binding, which I assume he thinks he can, then a lot of their CC is knockups, which you can't cleanse with or lower with Tenacity, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess then. But Sterax is always better to have just for the bonus shields or the shield from it. Unless they're like a full heavy AP team, but they're not a heavy AP team, so Sterax is always nice.
I think he'll probably still grab it, just maybe wanted the damage for the carry potential. It is still a very strong item on him, although not quite as safe. Does provide him more healing, obviously, or even just healing in general, because he doesn't really have any built-in.
He's probably just going full damage early, just so he can get scale up earlier.
Yeah, and some
Pick, if someone walks by and looks like Jason.
Pulling out the bushwhacking strategy. Adjacent, I think he knows that they're around. They see the red team missing ping on that bush. They think they're in there. And Distatic almost gets caught, gets the flash out to get away.
At least they got something out of that bushwhacking. They got a flash, but not sure they capitalize on it.
Not super valuable, but at the same time, the red team didn't do too much on the map, and while that was happening, though they are going for the dragon now. Blue team moves to contest. Akalzala actually getting stunned up. The bandage comes through. She's going to go down to the Amumu ultimate, and here comes the full fiesta. All teams are diving deep, and the ultimates are just going out, and it's not looking good for the blue team. They are getting shredded. Horny Vinter manages to pick himself up a kill, but Incursio is going to go down in the backline, a flash forward, and right on the edge, Vinter will fall to Lucidity eventually. Takes them a little while, but there's the clean ace almost. Unfortunate, but OKQD has to be sacrificial lamb. Still, fantastic play out of Coldplay, is getting the ace onto the enemy team, moving up to the Baron now. This could seal their victory.
Strategy was actually pretty good.
Well, I don't even know if I'd count that as turtling, I suppose. I thought they might...
I mean, they were playing pretty safe, it's not kill heavy, but...
Yeah, I think they were intending to have to turtle, but they were able to stop Incursio from getting such a heavy lead that it worked out really well for them.
Yeah.
Distatic, you know, normally likes to play carries, but it's pretty like, impressive that he recognizes that Incursio's, you know, a really great player and just picks something like Zillion to shut him down and go the supportive route, and he's been landing some really good bombs this game, so...
Yeah, they also got rid of Incursio's assassins, so he can't go hyper carry. And
yeah, I was surprised that he didn't pick something more dangerous.
Yeah.
In the second phase before they banned out more picks. I thought that he would pick in the first phase because he knew he was getting 5 banned. And there is a fat and very fast take of the Infernal Drake. Red team now looking to engage. Volksins just gets blown up. The Draven ultimate finds no one, and Akalzalat might be in trouble now as well. She's just going to have to slowly get taken down by Adjacent World. And it looks like the rest of his team are going for the play. The bombs, the bubbles land. Furion's in the backline chasing the enemy jungler. Vinter is in trouble. He's got nowhere to go. Lucidity's axes are landing. Oh, he's going to live just. But here comes Adjacent World. He's hungry.
And he's looking for blood. If only Jason didn't use the gun blade before on Morgana, he could have just zapped him and walked out.
give him the big zap. But right now, Coldplays have gone from playing safe to playing very, very aggressive with their lead, and it's working out. They've got Baron, and Adjacent's just going straight for Vultions. Huge damage from both Adjacent and Lucidity. The kill goes over to Adjacent, but Lucidity now is actually in trouble. Incursio is going to pick that kill up. Akalzalat is going to land that binding, and Furion now should fall as well. Big stuns coming out of Adjacent, though, and there goes OKQD in the backline. Though the plays were admirable, Coldplay still come out ahead and grab themselves an inhibitor. They could choose to go for the end here. There isn't much standing in front of them. Vinter, though, will have his ultimate soon. They don't know if they probably haven't tracked it to know if he has it up, and the rest of his team would respawn. Yeah, that is a moment where you can go for the end and it might work out, but you don't have your AD, and if you play it badly, you might just throw the game. So,
yeah,
much better option to back off and take that huge gold lead they've accumulated. 7,000 plus gold in their favor. And they have the Infernal Drake, which doesn't apply to their gold lead, but it gives you a certain amount of stats that are worth a certain amount of gold, depending on how many of those stats you have already. So lots of damage for them. And really fantastic scores all around as well.
Yeah, Jax from 0 and 3 up to 11 and 3. Was it 0 and 2 up to 11 and 3?
It was 0 and it was 0, 3 and 1 or something, and he's now 11, 3, 7. And he's picked up the Spear of Shojin. He's going full aggression. He doesn't care about no Sterix gauge.
He doesn't care about defensive. He's just going all in. It's in or nothing.
And perhaps Jason should be taking the place of Wilson on Team Go In.
Yes.
Because he's very much following the motto of Go In at the moment.
Indeed.
And a lot of people accuse Jason of being a tilter, but he definitely didn't tilt this game when he was 0 and 3 at the start, and it's really shown that he's held it together and brought it up to 11-3. That's a good performance from a Jason. I know that he's not against like a diamond top laner or anything, but he was having a bad time in lane and he didn't let it affect his late game play. They kept it together, and cold plays have brought back what was a disadvantage by a few thousand gold at the beginning, and the first Drake also went over to the enemy team.
Indeed. It's probably because he's playing Jackson. He's like, I'm just gonna scale up anyway, it doesn't matter how far I fall behind.
Yeah, no one actually finishes the turret in the mid lane.
Bro,
The minions, they're not doing it. The turret survives on very little HP there.
actually,
57 HP and picking up. That is very unfortunate.
Pushing, which is pretty good, because everyone else is just ARAMing mid.
They have definitely got the team for a 4-1 comp here, and see, Calzalot lands the binding, but her team are not in any position to engage on things like that right now.
Yeah.
They have to clear these incoming super minions in the bot lane. They have to worry about adjacent pushing in the top lane too hard, and if they engage and lose the fight, their game is probably over.
They just want to play it set, and they want to turtle it out as well at this point, because they really can't actually afford to win any team fights. Well, actually, they can't win any team fights, as proven in the previous 2 or 3 team fights that they've had.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they've just got such a disadvantage now that if they could win any team fights before, it's certainly not going to happen now with an Infernal and all that gold lead on the side of the other team. It's really not looking too great for them.
Yeah.
They do have ways to clear these waves. Like, they've got good wave clear. They can take out the super minions and they can deal with the pushes, but the pressure is just so high, and they're already going for the Drake. Blue team is moving up, but
well, might be a bad
they
idea for them.
Yeah, they want to contest, but I suppose they do have a double mountain, but it's a far too late. A second Infernal over to cold plays. That's going to be some pretty nasty damage coming out of Jax and Draven and such, and even the Zillion bombs are going to really hurt. Double Infernal Zillion bombs.
Yeah.
I do not want to get stunned by one of those as an AD carry player.
Scaling Zillion's pretty strong.
Yeah, you'd expect that cold players would not have this kind of an advantage, having to play with a substitute mid laner at the last minute, but...
Yeah, but since he's been playing safe, and also a champion that can actually just poke people without having to worry, then it's pretty easy for him. If he went something like a hyper carry, he'd probably get wrecked instead.
And they're going with their Mountain and Double Infernal. They're burning this Baron down. Incursio does try to get the steal, but the smite from Lord Furion secures that. A big Amumu ultimate and Nami ultimate, picking off most of the backline. Vinter, though, with a big knock-up. Volchans pushes forward, picks up a kill onto the Nami. Furion and Distatic are going to bring Volchans down. Will take a little bit of time, but he is gonna fall eventually. And now Adjacent World is already TP'd into the base. The game will go surprisingly quickly in the favor of cold plays.
Yeah, this game doesn't seem to actually be super kill heavy, unlike the previous ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty kill heavy now, but it started off much slower than our average games. So, yeah, good play out of cold plays to avoid those early fights. They really want to kill Vinter before the game's over, but there it goes. GG well played to Team Cold Plays, who win their second game of the split. Fantastic KDAs and performances all round. And honestly, there's not much criticism I can give to them here, other than that early misplay by Lucidity.
Yeah, maybe don't walk backwards to grab your axe and just go in.
Yeah. Some early deaths on Adjacent and a bit of a misplay in bot lane from Lucidity was really the only major mistake you could point out, and it didn't really slow them down much in the end. Very impressive play, and I mean, if we bring up the stats for the stream real quick, we can see some big differences in damage output on this team, but no team actually exceeded 20k damage, because you can sort of tell how not fight heavy that was at the start. Not very many trades going on.
There was some trades, but none of them that lasted that long. It was just kind of pokes.
And most damage of the game actually going over to Adjacent, quickly followed up by Lucidity. So, pretty impressive. I don't really like. I don't even know what happened there. There was a pretty decently sized lead in the favor of Fast FF, but it very quickly turned around to the other team, and Coldplay's just farmed it up and brought it home.
Indeed, they
Well,
scaled. They picked scaling champions, so it's pretty good for them. Two of them
yeah, and
scale.
a very unfortunate game for your boy Udia doing almost no damage and having almost no KP that game. Despite he got given his special pick, but maybe I think Coldplay's maybe anticipated that he would pick it if they left it open, and thought, well, our Udia one trick will take it if they don't. So very good plays all around.
Yeah, I think if he went for a bit more of a defensive type Udia, then would have been a lot easier. Maybe like run Aftershock and then just build tanky with that.
Well, a game's a game, and this one went heavily in the favor of Coldplays in the mid game. Thank you everyone for joining us. I have been Whisper. This has been Beethoven. I suppose we'll catch you guys soon. Tournament is going to be going for a long while.
Yes.
Many more games where that came from.